Well, hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we're covering a video that's been requested by Camrunner UK. Camrunner, and to everyone out there, in future could you give me a real name? It's a lot easier to call you John, Joe, Fred, Sarah, whatever you like. I just prefer that to a screen name so I know who I'm talking to. So Camrunner UK has requested information on how to remove the boot trims. Now, he said this was to gain access to the gas struts. Now, first of all, I was pretty sure this is what he was on about because these are gas struts. But then I started thinking, are you actually talking about the hydraulic suspension struts that support the main car? I'm not sure which one you mean. So what we're going to do is today we'll start with this trim, and then in a future video I'll cover the other trim as well should you need to replace your normal shock absorbers. So before we start, I just want to show you something that gives you an idea of just how difficult it can be to remove these. If you look at one of these trims removed, I've put stickers on here of all of the fixing points that are located on the back of this piece of trim. This gives you an idea of just how much support this has when it's fitted to the door, and how difficult it can be if you don't know where these clips are to remove the trim without breaking it. Now luckily this is quite a strong piece of plastic. It's called polypropylene. It's very flexible, not brittle at all, and even with age it won't go brittle. So we can be a little bit firmer with this than we can with some of the other plastic parts that have now become brittle with age. So in order to remove this trim, we're going to need a few tools. So I'm going to cut the video for a second and grab the tools that we're going to need. Okay, so now let's look at the tools we're going to need. All basic tools, thankfully. Simple Phillips screwdriver. A couple of plastic trim tools might come in handy. And also a special tool for popping these clips. Now these tools are now very, very cheap. Once upon a time this was a professional's tool and you needed a fair bit of money to buy them. But now these things are coming into the domestic market, and literally for a couple of pounds you can add this to your toolbox. Now when I do these videos I always try to do them in a way that everything is available to the average man on the street that doesn't have 10 grand's worth of tools. But you're going to see as we go along, I'm going to start introducing more and more tools, hopefully that will go into your toolkit for future use. And if you're going to be working on your own car, it really does pay, because a simple tool like that for a couple of pounds can save you 50, 60 pounds at the garage, having someone spend an hour doing this job for you. So have a look on eBay or your local auto parts store and pick yourself one of these tools up. And one final thing, a little bit of PVC electrical tape. The reason I'm going to suggest you use this is because this tool has a metal tip, and it needs to be metal for the strength that you're going to need to prise these clips open. And if you go to a garage, they'll probably be happy to ram this in there and scratch up your paintwork a little bit, thinking you're too stupid to notice. But you don't want to scratch your paintwork, especially when there's no need. So you're going to use a little bit of PVC tape just to cover part up the shaft and the two edges of the tools. So I'm just going to quickly do that so you can see what I mean, but I'll cut the video while I do it to save time. So now you can see I've roughly covered this tool, part down the shaft and the edges of the tips, just to protect the car a little bit. It's not got to look pretty, it's not got to be flash, it's not time consuming. It's purely for a little bit of protection, and you can peel it off straight after. So moving on with the job itself. To start off with, you're going to need your Phillips screwdriver. We've got 4 screws that we need to undo at this point. Now I know from experience that one of the screws here and the same on the other side, they're nearly always missing, they're vibrated loose. And another problem that we have is quite often the plastic that they hold has broken away for some reason, and that's really unusual because this is a very strong plastic. But all the same, I think these ones are still in place. So we're going to start by undoing those 2 screws. There's one, and I just heard the plastic fall inside, so I guess these ones are broken. One on this side, and as you can see, the plastic is it looks like someone's already previously had a go at this and they put a washer in there to hold it, so that one's also broken away, I can see. Now we've got two more screws, one here and one here, that hold the parcel shelf in place. Now at this point, I'm sure most of you have probably noticed this door's got water running off it all over the place. And this is becoming more and more of a problem on these cars. I'm just starting a new series at the moment that looks at all the places that water gets in and does damage. And one of the back door problems is quite a major one now. So you'll be happy to find out how to solve that problem, how to stop the water running into the trunk when you open the door, and how to stop the rust along this seam on your back door. Very expensive problems to sort out if you don't deal with them early on. So now all the screws are out the way, and now we need our trim tool or trim tools to deal with all of these fixing points. Now it would be lovely if we had a nice big tool that slipped under there and just yanked the whole thing down at one time, but we don't have. So what we're going to do is work our way around systematically around the outside and then move towards the middle. I'm going to start on this side, looking roughly where this fixing point is. I'm going to try and get the tool in there. Now it's actually quite a tight fit, but I've just about got in there. And you can hear the clip pop down. The next one came with it. Now although again this is a strong plastic, I have found a couple of times when you're taking these apart that these clips do break, but don't worry because there's so many of them, even if you break one or two, the rest will still stay in place suitably. And you can also see by having this tape, we're not scratching against the paintwork at all as we go round. Before you do the levering motion, always try to get as close to the point where you're trying to lever before prising it down. Now I brought these orange trims out because if you have trouble any time getting this in between the panel and the car, just slip one of these into the gap just to give you that little bit of extra manoeuvring room. Okay. Now from this point, the ones in the middle, if I quickly turn this over and show you, are a different type of popper. Now these ones are much easier to separate from the car and involve a lot less work. Also the ones at the back, because they're close together, you should be able to get your fingers in there and prise the back ones down quite easily. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Get my fingers in the back here because we've now gained plenty of access, roughly where the 2 points are that we're looking for, and then I'm just going to gently pull it down, like so. And now you can see the panel's completely free, and with just a little bending, that come out as easy as anything. Not one of the clips has been broken, which is really unusual. You'll see the metal clips here. Some of those have been left in the door, but they're a simple case of just grab yourself a pair of pliers, pinch them in and pull them out, and then they're ready for reuse. So that panel's 100% cleanly removed, ready to do whatever we want to do. So at that point I'm going to end this video. For the person who requested it, Camrunner UK, you've now got access to get off your struts if you needed these struts off, and as I said, I'll do another video later on covering the internal panels for the main car shock absorbers. So once again, thanks for watching. I hope the video is useful to at least one person, hopefully lots of people in the future. All of the other panels are going to be covered in time, but I still want your requests to come in. Please give me your name and the country you're from for other people to follow you. Requests are great. I really do like requests, because although I'm going to be covering everything anyway, it just gives me an idea of what people are really interested in. It shows that you're paying attention to my videos, that you're enjoying my videos, and it gives me the incentive to keep on doing them. So thanks again for watching. Remember to subscribe, click on the little bell after you've subscribed, and then you'll automatically get updates every time a new video is introduced. Thanks very much.